On the 7th of August 2016, 10-year-old Caleb Schwab was enjoying a day out at the Schlitterbahn Vacation Village theme park in Kansas. While riding the 50-meter Verrückt water slide, one of the park's biggest attractions, his raft became airborne and collided with safety netting, killing him instantly. It was assumed, at first, to be a freak accident, but a lengthy investigation in the aftermath of his death would reveal the truth. The slide had always been unsafe and should never have been allowed to operate in the first place. Verrückt was the brainchild of Jeff Henry, Schlitterbahn's co-owner, who announced his intention to build the world's fastest water slide during an interview at a trade show. Having made this pledge on the spur of the moment, he then attempted to pitch the ride to several manufacturers, but was unable to find anyone willing to take on its construction. Undaunted, Jeff Henry decided that he would oversee the design and construction of the ride himself. Verrückt was comprised of 2 drops. An initial 17-story plunge was followed by a short uphill section which carried riders to the top of a second long drop. Riders would have to climb more than 200 steps to the top of the tower before sliding down on board specially built 3-person rafts. During testing, sandbags were mounted onto these rafts and sent down the slide. On several occasions it was noted that they became airborne at the end of the uphill section, sometimes smashing into safety netting that had been added there. To mitigate this danger, the entire bottom half of the ride was demolished and rebuilt at a shallower angle, and a weight limit was set for groups of riders to ensure that they did not gather too much momentum during the first drop. Jeff Henry was not a professional ride designer or engineer. Anxious to get the slide open for the park's 2014 season, he pushed the designers he did hire to work around the clock, rushing calculations and tests that should have taken months. The media were unaware of this, and unaware of the failed safety tests. Thanks to an earlier decision to allow Schlitterbahn to self-inspect its own rides rather than enforcing state inspection, the state of Missouri also never realised the ride was unsafe. Indeed, when Verrückt opened, it attracted national media coverage and was named the world's best new water park ride at the 2014 Golden Ticket Awards. Over the course of the next year, at least 13 riders suffered injuries on Verrückt, usually as a result of their rafts becoming airborne and smashing into the safety netting that covered the slide. Supervisors and officials were quick to hush up the injuries, wanting to protect the investment of the park. They paid off the injured and ignored mounting safety concerns amongst the ride's staff and lifeguards. The accident which killed Caleb Schwab was inevitable. It was avoidable. It was tragic. When the raft on which he was riding became airborne, he struck his head on one of the metal supports that held the safety netting in place over the slide, killing him instantly and throwing him from the raft. The 2 women riding with him also sustained serious injuries, but survived. Caleb Schwab's remains followed the raft down the final portion of the ride, leaving behind them a trail of blood. In the aftermath of the accident, the water slide was closed permanently, and the decision to allow Schlitterbahn to self-inspect its own rides was swiftly revoked. Engineers inspected the ride before it was demolished and noted that it was non-compliant in multiple ways with basic safety regulations. Jeff Henry and 2 other co-owners and designers were arrested and charged with involuntary manslaughter, but the charges were eventually dismissed after inadmissible evidence was used in court. Schlitterbahn, Kansas continues to operate to this day, although Verrückt has since been torn down. There is no memorial on site to 10-year-old Caleb Schwab.